the origination of the discount double check. I mean, that was a big thing in New York. I know you're friendly with Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean,
I think I'm a huge fan of his, and he showed me love, so I'd say we're boys, yeah.
well, is that just kind of an ode to Aaron Rodgers? How did that kind of come about?
It started in New York. One of our security guards, he had just said with the team, he said, you should do the belt. You love the Packers. You're from Wisconsin. When you make a three, you should do it. And I said, that's absurd. I was like, I would never do that, basically. And then one Sunday afternoon game, we were playing Dallas, and they were a team that had cut me in the past, and so there was maybe a little more emotion there, and so I made a bunch of shots that game, and it ended up just coming out.
And then, I mean, it became a thing, and we're still talking about it today, basically. I mean, just are you surprised at how big a thing that kind of became?
New York was like just a media animal. It was that year was Linsanity, and I was doing the silly belt, and I think it was just the right timing. I think it was something I loved doing because it kind of was a shout out to Wisconsin. So it was, a cool thing for me to do it. And yeah, the fans liked it, so I kept doing it.
Kevin Durant, I've seen him in practice after he hits a big shot. He'll look at you and, do it. Just, it still follows you today, and even with a guy like Kevin, right?
Yeah, I think because guys know that, I think that it's just more of a funny thing, right? It's not even as much me. I felt funny at first doing it, and then I really embraced it. But now looking back, I still think it's because it's a little bit humorous. So I think that's where the guys pull from on that.
Okay, we have to ask a little pack update here. How are you feeling about your team? Do you like where they are right now? Injury obviously hit them early. No Nelson this year.
Yes, we've had our injuries and our injury scares, but so far Jordy was the only one that, has been a long-term thing for us. So as long as we can keep Rodgers healthy, I think we're going to be all right. He finds a way to turn stars into his receivers, so turn his receivers into stars. Yeah.
The way quarterbacks are going down in the league, though, you feel like you want to bubble wrap him a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, it's the nature of the beast, The football is just, you watch those games and you're amazed that those guys can play, can even still be playing, at the ages some of these guys are at. So hopefully they stay healthy, and I think we can make a nice push.
I think you picked the right sport for longevity, don't you?
I definitely do. Yeah, I don't think I would have lasted long in football. So far so good here.
You mentioned those Knicks team earlier that had, J.R. Smith, Carmelo, obviously. Just what do you remember about those teams? And even going back to your Marquette days, you played with Dwayne Wade, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, playing with Dwayne Wade, obviously he's a guy who was one of the top 5 talent guys I probably play with. I've been lucky to play with a lot of guys like obviously Russell and Kevin. I've been with teams with, Dirk and Manu and teams like that. So I've played with guys that are elite all-stars. I've won at the highest levels, which is just incredible to see kind of what sets those guys apart and to be around those guys on a day-to-day basis. So, those New York teams were no different, having guys like Melo who were so good. I mean, he was as good in the post as he was from the perimeter, and one of the greatest scorers, if not the greatest scorer, of course, behind Russell and Kevin. But they all like to claim they're the best. So I think playing with those guys, you just learn so much from how talented they are and why they're so good.
Guys like that are so talented, but then the guys that can hit big shots in big moments. Do you think there's something that separates them, that makes them able to do that?
I do. I think, in my opinion, I think it's really a mental preparation. I think the guys that have kind of gone there mentally and have practiced those shots, and I think it's not even as important to maybe have actually practiced them as it is to have gone there mentally and to think about those and to want those and to have decided beforehand that they want to be the guy to shoot it and that they're going to make it. I think you can tell the guys who have done that, and it stands out.
For you, do you have a favorite big shot you've hit over the years?
I'll tell you, game winners are definitely, as good as it gets are the ones you dream about when you're younger and you shoot in your driveway or your backyard and pretend you're hitting the game winner. So I've hit 2 in my NBA career, and those are special to me. One was in the 22-game win streak when I was with Houston. So that one was special. At the time, it was only the 8th game, but looking back, it was a more important shot than it felt even. But and then when I was with the Clippers, I hit a game winner against New Jersey. So I think those really are the best shots.
Better question. You have 38 career blocks. Do you have a favorite block shot?
Now every individual block I get is glorious. I'll tell you. So they don't come around that much, but it's sort of like a game winner. I'll give you that.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. Good to talk. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.